compare these two scenarios. In this panel here, if you recall, I have the scenario where the legal incidence of the tax fell on the seller. $3 tax on sellers raised the seller supply curve, demand curve remained unchanged. The price that buyers paid post-tax was $6.50. The price that sellers received post-tax was $3.50. The tax itself, again, as denoted by the green line, $3. Look over here. Here's a case that we just reviewed where the tax was, legally speaking, levied on buyers. Again, that brought the demand curve down, and as a result, after the tax was paid by buyers, their price was $6.50. Sellers' price received was $3.50. Notice that the economic incidence for either of these cases is identical. Post-tax, buyers pay $6.50, sellers receive $3.50. The original price was $5. So, a very, very striking and actually quite interesting conclusion that we can draw from an analysis of excise taxes is that the economic incidence, who actually pays the tax via higher prices paid, in this case the price going from $5 to $6.50 for buyers, or in terms of lower prices received, in this case going from $5 to $3.50 for sellers, that in no way depends on who the legal incidence falls on. Okay? It can fall on sellers, or it can be levied on buyers. In either case, buyers pay $1.50 more, $5 to $6.50. Sellers receive $1.50 less. They receive $3.50 as opposed to $5. Now, to quickly figure out what the economic incidence is of a certain excise tax, you don't need to do all this shifting of curves up and down. We have what we call a tax wedge shortcut. So here I am starting out with my initial conditions, with my supply curve and demand curve, intersecting at $5 and a quantity of just Q stub, which was 100 in our previous examples. Now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to take that green line, which has a height of 3, and that's my tax wedge. I'm going to start at the left-hand side, and I'm just going to move it over rightward until it just touches both lines. It just touches the very bottom of the demand curve, and at the same time touches the very top of the supply curve. And at that point, okay, we can identify the price that a buyer is going to pay post-tax, $6.50, and the price that a seller receives post-tax, in this case, $3.50. Okay? That's what we call a tax wedge shortcut. So you don't really need to move all these lines to figure out what the post-tax price paid and post-tax price received will actually be. We have this really, really nice, quick shortcut that helps us out. Now, to calculate the actual economic incidence on buyers, all you do is you take the price that the buyers paid post-tax, PB, in this case $6.50, subtract from that the price that they would have paid pre-tax, in this case $5, and divide by the tax itself, in this case $3. So $6.50 minus 5 is $1.50, over 3 is 50%, 0.5. So when it's talking about economic incidence, who actually pays a tax, one way that we can state this is that buyers pay 50% of the tax in the form of higher prices paid, regardless of who the actual legal incidence is imposed on. Conversely, to calculate the economic incidence on sellers, we take the price that they would have received pre-tax, that's $5 per stub. Subtract from that the price that they received post-tax, that's PS, in this case $3.50, and take that difference and divide it by the tax itself. So in this case, I've got 5 minus $3.50, that's $1.50, divided by 3, also 0.5, or 50%. So we would say in this example that 50% of the tax is paid by sellers in the form of lower prices received. They receive $3.50 as opposed to 5.